Welcome in to the Coach Jake Ganus Show, sponsored today by TNT Fireworks. I'm your host, David Simpson. We're here on the field of Bill Morris Stadium, and joining me now is head football coach Jake Ganus. And Coach, Friday night, big win, big region win, but man, was it kind of tough in that first half. Kind of talk about the first half a little bit.
Yeah, we started pretty good. Got up 14-0, 2 quick touchdowns and a couple good stops, and then the momentum kind of shifted with the muff punt and the penalty there on that play, and then we still had them in 2 fourth downs on that drive before they scored and weren't able to get off the field, and then we score a 3rd touchdown, it gets called back, and then we end up throwing an interception the next play. So just self-inflicted things that made the first half feel real sloppy. But when you go back and watch the tape, I mean, we played pretty good if you can cut out some of those penalties and mistakes.
Well, did Jacksonville do anything any different scheming-wise, defensively or offensively that you hadn't seen before?
No, it was basically what we thought, and both sides, offense, defense, they did play a heavier box than we thought they would have played. We got a lot of cover 0 all night, just testing us, wanting us to throw it, and we were still able to run the ball. I think we were 7 yards a carry, but we knew we were going to have to throw it over their head a little bit, try to loosen it up.
I talked to your dad at halftime, and you tied 14-14. He said, we have to score on this opening drive, and you did. So talk about, if you want to talk about your halftime speech, not going into too detail, but how you got them fired up, and talk about the second half a little bit.
Yeah, I just came in, high-fived everybody, and said everything's going to be okay. But the good thing about this team is I have a really strong leadership group. I have a great senior class. They've been with me for 4 years. We've been through a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and I challenged them, and it was either going to go one of 2 ways, and they responded the right way. Our sideline responded, because I wasn't happy with a lot of things in the first half, and so there was a lot of challenges made in that locker room at halftime, and every one of them was met, and I was extremely, extremely proud. And like I said in the postgame, you'd rather learn from wins than losses, and so there's a lot to learn from Friday night. But at the end of the day, it's high school football. Anybody can win any Friday night. Nobody's guaranteed anything in this profession, in this world, really. But we found a way to gut out a tough game. It was a good opponent, and and start region play 1-0.
Well, I know one thing at the third quarter, start of the third quarter, you were tied. You took the opening drive, the third quarter scored, but defensively, getting that turnover, that 14-point swing just changed the whole game.
Yeah. I think Jagger ended up pulling up the guy and got the ball out, and we had 2 guys fighting for it. And Cade Mitchell ended up getting it and scoring the touchdown. But yeah, like I said, I think defensively it was our best game. It was only 3rd game, but our best game in terms of yards given up. Now, if you add the penalty yards, then you wouldn't look at the total yards like it was good. But I think we held them to about 110 yards of total offense, and that's not a bad football team that we did that in. So they played really good, and then offense, we didn't punt one time. That's typically how you can judge a game offensively, how many times you have to punt, and we didn't have to punt at all. So I was just really proud of the overall effort. Obviously, first half, too many mistakes, but the bounce back, the response was huge. That's going to pay dividends for us.
I know the penalties were a concern, but I've never seen a game where it was 17 for Moody, 17 for Jacksonville, 34 penalties altogether. I know it was tough on that, but I know you talked to the ref a little bit. Can you give some insight on talking to the head referee about the penalties?
Yeah, so their head of their association was at the game, so I felt like they just wanted to make sure they called everything and by the book. And certain games, it's like if you've played basketball, if you've been in a basketball game, from the first couple minutes of a basketball game if that ref's calling that that tacky foul that another ref might let you play through. And so they were a no-nonsense crew, but it was extremely even. I mean, but ours were bigger penalties. Ours were pass interference, personal foul. It was a lot of at the wrong time. I felt like they had some false starts and some 5-yarders. We had them 15-yarders. But we ended up, after I watched it back, it was actually 18 and they had 19. So it ended up being 37 penalties in the game. And I watch the 411 network every Saturday morning. Is my tradition, and it took me like 6 hours to get through the game because of how many stoppage in play there was. I mean, it was like Brett said, like both of y'all said, Brett said it a couple. It's like watching a basketball game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable. But again, that's a circumstance that has nothing, like that can't affect us in any way. And I think in the second half we were able to handle that a lot better.
All right, Coach, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to senior Jagger Ludolf and junior Jake Lowery. You're watching the Coach Jake Ganus Show on the 411 Network. Welcome back into the Coach Jake Ganus Show. Joining me now is senior linebacker, part of the Bash brothers, Jagger Ludolf. And Jagger, tough game kind of starting out in that first half Friday night against Jacksonville. Kind of give us a recap of that game a little bit.
Yeah, first half didn't go as planned. It was pretty messy, a lot of flags, but came out at halftime. Coach gave us a good word, and we picked up the flags. No more flag, or there was like a couple flags second half, but picked it up, and then we played pretty good.
Being a senior and seeing all the penalties, as a senior, do you kind of get the defense together and say, hey, let's forget about that, let's focus on the next play?
Yes, sir. Yeah, most of the seniors, like on the defense, they really stepped, and the offense as well. Everybody really stepped up. You know, we needed leadership in that moment, and we brought it, and then we played pretty well.
Well, I noticed you had like a total, I think, 16 total tackles. I think you had 12 solo tackles and 4 assists, total 16, which I think you led again because you're all over the field. You're fun to watch on Friday nights. But this Friday night, you know what's at stake, big rivalry game against St. Clair County. As Coach said, you know, one game at a time, focus on Moody. How do you, as a senior, pass that down to the underclassmen?
Yes, sir. So we preach it's a big game because we're in it, and all the young guys, they know we're not overlooking anybody or we're not making it a bigger game because their name or anything. So we just all agree it's a big game because we're in it, and that's really what we preach. Okay.
Well, what's one thing the fans in the stands, Moody fans, don't know about Jagger?
I wear 22 for Derrick Henry. It's my favorite player.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, Jagger, we appreciate your time on this Sunday as you prepare for the big game this Friday night. Pray for a good game, healthy game the rest of the season, and good luck Friday night.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back into the Coach Jake Ganus Show. Joining me now is junior quarterback Jake Lowery. And Jake, first 3 games you have really had. First game was kind of tough for you. Second game you had a great game, and last week you had looks like you completed 12 of 17 for 235 yards. But kind of talk about the game offensively against Jacksonville last Friday night.
Yeah, you know, offensively, you know, we had it going on from the start. We had 2 quick scores, which was good. Obviously, momentum changed. Jacksonville started driving the ball downfield, slowed us down a little bit. You know, ended up being tied at halftime. But second half, we changed some things. You know, kept a good rhythm going. So we ended up putting 3 more touchdowns up on the board. So that's a good thing.
At halftime, did Coach really get y'all's attention?
Yes, sir, he did. He gave us some very positive words and very upbeat in the
Well, y'all responded very well, and you pulled it out. So your offense, no sacks so far this year. Talk about your offensive line.
My O-line, I love them. They're doing their thing. They're blocking their tails off all season. 0 sacks is very rare to come by, so I'm proud of that, and love the Trench Dogs.
I was going to tell you, you kind of tucked it there one play and ran a little bit Friday night.
Yeah.
You're not much of a running quarterback, are you?
I run when I have to.
Well, you have to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, this Friday night, I don't know if you've heard about the rivalry of the Battle of 411 in St. Clair County. Talk about the game this Friday night.
You know, obviously it's a very big game. It's a region rivalry, I've heard, and you know, it's just another game for us. There's a lot of hype up between the 2 teams, a lot of talking. So we'll address that, but you know, it's just another game. It's a big game because we're in it, but we're very excited to play them.
Well, you've had, like I said, first 3 games. You've been phenomenal. But you're fun to watch, and we pray for a good game, healthy game Friday and the rest of the season. What's one thing, before I let you go, almost forgot, what's one thing the fans in the stand don't know about Jake Lowery?
I'm a great rapper.
A great rapper. Okay, so you need to give us some samples so we can put it on the 411 network. How about that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's good to know. It's all in fun. Well, again, Jake, we thank you for your time. I know you got a busy week ahead preparing for this big game, big region game, and we appreciate your time today.
Yes, sir.
Stay with us when we come back. We're going to talk to head football coach Jake Ganus about the big Battle of 411 here at the Bill this Friday night. Welcome back into the Coach Jake Ganus Show. Well, Coach, this week, big game, another big region game, but it's a rivalry game. You know what it means to a lot of people around here. St. Clair County Saints have really got it clicking right now. Coach Robinson's done a great job over there. Kind of talk about preparation for this week, trying to keep the kids focused and not get caught up in the hype of the rivalry.
Yeah, you know, first, like Coach Robinson, they do a fantastic job over there, and they got a really good football team. You know, they've played the young guys the past couple of years, and those guys are starting to get a little older and more experience, and you see that on the film. But yeah, for us, it's just make it about us. We've played in big games before. We've played in Thanksgiving games for 3 years now. We've played in state championship. We've played in big games, and so for us, it's just another game. Our goal this week is to go 1-0 and to not make it bigger than it is. But yeah, as far as our community and fans are concerned, I mean, it's going to be a great atmosphere. You know, it's going to be a very competitive football game. It's going to be physical, and you know, I think the team that ultimately is the most physical and can handle the circumstances that come with Friday night, you know, will come out on top. So for us, just having a great week, keep it as normal as possible, and just stay focused on what our ultimate goal is.
So is this where your senior leadership will, during this week, where it's a big game, everybody knows everybody over at St. Clair, and they know us, your senior leadership trying to keep the younger guys focused on this game? Yeah,
you know, I don't think there will be any issues getting guys up on Friday. I think everybody's going to be pretty juiced up to play on both sides. But yeah, like as far as like your preparation throughout the week, you know, we, you know, try our best to watch more film, do things like the little things better than you've ever done before, and again, just not making it something that it's not. It is a big game, but we believe it's a big game because we're in it, and that's just how that's our philosophy and how we approach every week. It's not because it's St. Clair, next week's Helena, and then we go to Auburn. It's just a big game because we're in it. So we got to make it about us and have a great week of prep and get ready to go.
All right, Coach. Well, we're hoping for a good week of practice this week and looking forward to a good game Friday night. All right, Blue Devil fans, this is the Battle of 411. We need everybody here in the stands Friday night. 411 Network start broadcast around 6 p.m. Kickoff is at 7. If you want to come and tailgate before the game, please do. I know there's going to be a big crowd here, so gates may open a little bit early. They usually open around 6, but they may open a little bit before 6. So get here early and get your seat. Well, again, I want to thank TNT Fireworks for their sponsorship of Moody Blue Devil football, and we'll see everybody here at the Bill Friday night.